Introverts. How did you meet your girlfriend? Met someone that realized I was too shy to make a move and aggressively flirted with me and hinted all the time. Need me a freak like that. I nearly choked on my drink after reading this. Thanks. Same. Stop drinking others' drinks. We worked together. I wasn't really interested at first. She seemed a bit standoffish. But one day she stayed after work and hung out talking to me. I invited her to a 4th of July cookout at a friend's house the next day, as my crush couldn't make it. She said yes and was very touchy-feely with me. I was oblivious still. One of my friends at the cookout suggested a few of us go see a movie the next day, and she said yes. When we went, she sat next to me and kinda snuggled up close, still oblivious. After the movie, she hung out with me at my apartment, sat on my lap with her honey my chest, and watched Red vs Blue with me. She was cold and asked me to hold her. She put my hand on her ass, and I was still oblivious. It wasn't until she left at 2 AM that I realized what if she's into me. I told a close girlfriend of mine, and she almost hit me for not asking her out. So I called her up and she said yes. We've been together 7 years now. I was both an introvert and an idiot. When guys say we don't catch signals, we really don't. It's still kind of hard to tell. She might be Canadian and just being polite. Okay, I'm Canadian and keep hearing this meme. What's it from? Also, this is hilarious because I too once cuddled a guy watching RVD all evening, and he still asked, "Are you sure?" when I finally kissed him. What's it from? YouTube casually explained, "Is she into you?" Thank you. Met at work. She approached and made the first move. Oh. You are approaching me? I can't love the S out of you without getting closer. Oh. Then come as close as you like. R/wholesome a Jojo. My girlfriend is an extrovert. She introduced herself, and I made an uncomfortable joke about how, since she doesn't know me, I'm Mr. Anonymous. We've been together for 5 years now. I threw pistachios at my now husband because he was sitting at the bar playing hard to get. This is my favorite story here so far. Same way I meet all my girlfriends. Every time we ran into each other I gave her some cake, so she would eventually associate me with the joyous feeling of cake. 2 to 3 years later they are all mine. You can speed this process up with heroin. Just FYI. God damn it. I'd give you an award if I had the funds. Haven't snorted in a while. Thanks. You aren't supposed to snort it. You inject it. Ripping a line of heroin. Moved in with her and her roommate. I essentially Stockholmed her into liking me. Hol up. Wait a minute. Lem put some pimpin in it. Through a mutual friend. We've known each other since 2011, and I had a crush on her since day one. We used to cuddle a lot after parties throughout the years, but I was too scared to ask her out. In 2018 I asked, said mutual friend, if he thought she'd like to go out with me. He just straight up asked her. She said that she would like that, but I was still too scared to do anything. She got tired of waiting for me to ask her out and asked me out instead. Turns out she had a crush on me all that time too. We are engaged now. That's adorable. Glad you two were able to get together. I'm sure this is a rare one, but oh my god. 6 years ago, I used to use the website a lot, chatting with girls. I met my girlfriend on the site and starting messaging each other a lot, then Skyping. It turns out she was planning on going to the same college as I was, lived in the same state. Now we have been living together for 2 years. Lucky bastard. The thing is that he will never know if she really is who she pretends to be. Considering that he met her on Omegle, she could also be one of these old dudes who W in front of the camera, disguising as a woman, pulling off the most convincing catfish the world has ever seen. She met me, followed me home, and never left. They are human, right? No, it's a killer tomato. No, I'm a human I swear. We're on to you tomato shooter. Currently single, but in the past, it usually came about because we were in the same marching band friend group. Another happened because we sat next to each other at college orientation, and we hit things off from there. It usually came about because we were in the same marking band friend group that's oddly specific. Was this a semi-regular occurrence that happened multiple times? Most of my high school friends came from marching band. Of the 4 people I've dated, 3 of them were from band. It's one of those things where proximity can result in romance. She just walked up to me and started talking. It never stopped. Guys help, she's still talking. #OH no. Please leave, woman. It's actually a very easy answer. I didn't. Relatable. My close friends and I met up for drinks before a house party, and one of my friends brought their course mate. Usually I have trouble in being confident and outgoing around new people, but because I was comfortable with almost everyone there, I acted a lot more chill, cracking jokes, doing stupid shit. Basically my true self. She told my friend that she thinks I'm good looking, and it took me a good 2 hours to come up with the courage to talk to her. Anyway, we've been together for almost a year now, lol. It is hard to me to be myself. I always try to say or do things that I would not do so that people see me well. My dude, being yourself is the most beautiful thing anyone could ask to see. Your friends and people close to you love you for who you are. Even if you act a different way every so often, they can see through it and they love it. Dating site. Wife now. Looked like that thing do actually works. It does. Same story for me. Married. Been together for 12 years. Same. Downloaded a wife. Just celebrated 11 years married. I tried to download a wife, but I ended up with a computer virus. I got drunk at a bar multiple times. Gave me the courage I needed to speak, and now I'm married years later. Time to try alcohol. I also developed a drinking problem and ended up quitting in 2013. So tread lightly, but yeah, if it wasn't for drinking I would have never left my house, haha. Dating app called Whippler. Joined it. It's laid out like a set of octagonal tiles with the ones nearest the top being nearest to you, and as you go down they get further away. Sent a message to this girl that wasn't too far away from me and asked if she'd be up for chatting, and once she said okay, we had a brief chat. At the end I asked if she'd be okay with me messaging again, and that was okay. So we built up our conversations in terms of length and depth and went on a first date about a month later. We've been together almost 4 years now. I'd like to try a dating app, but I just don't like tagging pictures of myself, which you need for most, if not all dating apps, so unless I can overcome this, I have to find another way. No, I'm not ugly or beautiful, I'm just average, but pictures make me uncomfortable, same with hearing my own voice. I was the same for a long time. I think one of the easiest ways to get comfortable with taking pictures is to start off with figuring out why. I've got a mole on my cheek that I don't like, so a lot of my photos when I went on dating sites had me in makeup that hid the mole or distracted from it. I had goofy hats or sunglasses on in some of them to distract from the mole. Some of them were taken from the side so it wasn't visible. Things like that. My girlfriend is the same. She's not fond of taking photos, partially due to some scarring on her neck from a cancer operation from when she was younger, so she tends to use filters or wear clothes that hides that, and she sometimes uses poses that don't show the scarring. I know you've said you consider yourself average, but maybe there's still some wee physical thing that you're insecure about that's holding you back. Doing stuff like this isn't a great long-term solution. No one should feel forced to hide bits of themselves, but it might help you get used to taking pictures of yourself in the short term. The more you take the pictures, the easier it gets, and you might eventually get to a point where you feel comfortable enough taking pics without the gimmicks hiding the insecurities. I mean, I have some imperfections, but they don't bother me. I even have a T-shaped scar on my forehead, but I'm rather proud of that, and it's mostly hidden by my hair. My brother's name starts with a T and mine with an A, and yes, he has a scar somewhere that looks kinda like an A. My main problem is whenever I take a pic I look so awkward on it. Right. Might not suit your sense of humor, but it might help to be deliberately awkward. Take silly photos of yourself where you're making an actual attempt to seem awkward and cringe-worthy, but in a funny way. That way you know you'll look awkward and you'll be prepared for that, and it's not a case of I've set myself up for this nice picture and I think I look too awkward in it to show it to anyone. It'd showcase your sense of humor too if that method worked for you. Through Tinder during COVID. Honestly, when we first matched I thought she was a bot or she was just looking for entertainment during COVID, so I didn't text. A couple of hours later I get a message from her asking about my name, and then we took off from there. Due to our distance though, we already been on 2 dates and planning our third. Here's hoping we become official. GLHF. Gandalf licks Hobbit feet. I'm pretty sure it means good luck, have fun. But I like the Gandalf licks Hobbit feet much more. P.